Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Tonight, support continues to pour in for the Hill Country. You're going to meet a group that crossed an ocean to be here. But first, what's happening on our roads? This weekend, 3 people were killed on bikes in 3 separate accidents.
The Night Team's John Paul Barajas walks us through the accidents and what motorcycle advocates are saying about all this.
Motorcycle hit the truck and it exploded.
This fiery crash claimed the life of a motorcyclist on Sunday night. The family has identified him as 25-year-old Chandler Kruger. Video shows him trying to slow down before running a red light at the intersection of Southwest Military and Logwood Avenue. We paused the clip just before impact. The driver of the truck and car involved were not injured, according to police.
What goes through your head when you see the impact and then the almost immediate burst of flames?
The family. Definitely the family. The mother already commented that she had to tell her son's 8-year-old child that their father's no longer with us.
And unfortunately, this wasn't the only deadly motorcycle crash from the weekend. In total, 3 people lost their lives in 3 crashes, which is why the nonprofit organization Fallen Riders shared this message.
Respect the road, respect other drivers and riders is really what, after this weekend, that's the biggest message that I have for the community.
SAPD says this crash off of I-10 and near Zavala on Saturday was a result of 2 bikers racing. Adding that 20-year-old Nicholas Galindo was ejected from his bike, a sergeant on scene explained Galindo was hit by an 18-wheeler, causing him to lose control. As for this scene off 35 North and Topperwine from late Sunday, police tell us the motorcyclist lost control for an unknown reason before crashing and dying on scene as well.
After a weekend like this, what do you hope that other motorcyclists and future motorcyclists are made aware of?
Road conditions, their speed, and their skill level is my 3 basic things.
Fallen Riders helps facilitate trainings for riders, as well as works with groups that provide those in need necessary safety equipment. They also help with fundraisers and memorial rides for those who've been lost.
The more you're on the bike, the more chances you're taking with your life. Everybody understands that. Some people respect it, some don't. And that's what we're trying to help bring awareness.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
The group that John Paul just mentioned is going to have an event tomorrow night. It's a safety meetup where people will also observe a moment of silence for the people who died. It's happening at Caliente Harley-Davidson from 8 to 10 p.m.
Killed by her own dog, a woman bitten multiple times during an attack last week has died. That's according to Animal Care Services. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office identifying her as 32-year-old Simone Like. San Antonio police say the attack happened last Thursday on Patricia Drive on the northwest side. According to a woman who identified herself as a friend of Like, the dog lived with Like and her boyfriend and says the dog turned on Like when she tried to keep it from biting someone else. The friend told KSAT the dog has a violent history. ACS says it has no previous reports of attacks. Following that attack, the dog placed in quarantine. The dog's owner issued several citations.
Dad, I need my son. I lost one son. I can't live with him. Okay.
He lost one son to a gunshot, the other in jail. A distraught father asked a judge to release his son back into his custody during a hearing this morning. See,
his teenage son is accused of handling a gun that fired and killed the man's other son, who was just 8 years old. And now the alleged teen shooter is charged with manslaughter. The defense and prosecution were in court today to determine if that teen will remain in custody. The incident, if you remember, happened on Friday at a home on Bob Billis Street near East South Cross Boulevard and Pecan Valley Drive. South Antonio police say that that's where they found the 8-year-old shot in the neck. He didn't survive. The family says that the child's name was Daniel Cáceres. As for his brother, the judge did not mince words when he said that the shooting was an accident.
It was an accident. Okay. And I believe you. The problem is this. You shouldn't have had your hand on that gun in the first place. That gun should have been locked up. And this is what happens when they're not.
So the judge ruled that the teen will remain in custody, and his next detention hearing is next week, August 11th. Now we're going to go to our neighbors in Kerrville, where the city has declared a water supply emergency after flood damage to its water treatment plant. So the city is right now in stage 4 water restrictions. And what that means is that people in Kerrville can't use their sprinklers or hoses at any time. While repairs are underway, Kerrville is also using water from groundwater wells.
Yeah, and we know the damages in the Hill Country are going to take a while to repair. We also know many are still dealing with power outages. Now we have a potential timeline on that. The Kerrville Utility Board says repairs in Kerr County could take up to 2 or 3 months. The board says the power station in Hunt, for instance, under 8 feet of water and mud. They're working with the Lower Colorado River Authority for a temporary fix.
And here's something else that people in Kerr County definitely don't need, and that is crime. The Kerr County Sheriff's Office says that it's seeing more theft and looting since the flood. So the sheriff asked county commissioners for extra manpower to protect people, and leaders agreed. So during today's commissioners court hearing, leaders approved adding another criminal investigator to the sheriff's office.
We've already seen a slight increase in some crime, and we actually got our first fraud case. We're going to be working with the Attorney General's office, but obviously I anticipate this to rise as time goes on.
So also during the meeting, Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly also brought up the burn ban. It's been lifted in some areas in Kerr County, but the judge just doesn't want everyone burning the debris that's been piling up. Judge Kelly said that anybody who wants to burn something needs to get a formal burn permit from the sheriff's office.
And tonight we continue to see people just show up to help since those devastating floods.
So we've told you about volunteers going to Hill Country from across the U.S. and also those from Mexico who joined the search effort. And now you're going to meet a group who came all the way from Israel to help in the recovery.
We saw it all unfolding on television back in Israel.
Even 7,000 miles away, the Zaka search and rescue team couldn't believe the devastation in the Hill Country. Members Valerie and Nachman Dickstein and Marnix Van Ida just knew they had to be here.
We cannot stay home and see our brothers and sisters suffering here in America and not to come.
Zaka is an emergency response organization in Israel with 4,000 volunteers. For the last 30 years, they've traveled internationally, providing medical aid to victims in disaster areas. This time, they spent about 2 weeks in the Hill Country, working with the Texas A&M Task Force 1 to search for flood victims. Nachman says this was personal.
The most important thing is after the person dies, to bury him in as soon as possible and to give back his body to God, because everybody is a part of God, and you give it back. And also to honor the family, to give back for the family what they can.
One of the group's biggest contributions, an AI-based model developed by an Israeli professor mapping out the areas where missing victims were most likely to be.
Yeah. You see how it starts?
And you see the velocity.
It's unclear how many victims Zaka members helped recover, but as they prepare to return to Israel, they say they'll always cherish the people of Texas and the rest of the U.S.
The local people are so amazing.
The American people, like you say to us, you're not alone, you are also not alone. We are with you. If we can help you in everything, we will be there.
The number one priority now is people.
And that was Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem speaking in Kerrville during a press conference July 5th.
And as we're still learning more about the city of Kerrville's response to the deadly flooding, our KSAT Investigates team obtained hundreds of emails and texts from Kerrville city leaders showing just how caught off guard they were that morning. One of those text messages from a city staffer referencing Secretary Noem. The message sent to City Manager Dalton Rice. It read, quote, "Just saw you met Homeland Barbie. How is she?" To which Rice replied laughingly, quote, "Basically Homeland Barbie." It's a phrase that's been used to mock Noem since she was confirmed as DHS Secretary earlier this year. Let's go to national headlines now. 4 victims, including an NYPD officer, dead after a shooting in Midtown Manhattan.
And police say the gunman is also dead of what's believed to be a self-inflicted injury. The shooter has been tentatively identified as a 27-year-old from Las Vegas. Sources are saying that the shooter, holding a long rifle, was seen walking into a high-rise building this evening. The skyscraper includes corporate offices for the NFL and also Blackstone. Police there are trying to determine a motive for that shooting, but at this point, it's unclear if the shooting was targeted or just a random act. Now in Uvalde, the families of the Robb Elementary shooting victims will soon be learning more about what happened that day.
Yeah, this morning, Uvalde County commissioners voted to release records related to the May 2022 massacre. KSAT 12 and other news outlets sued for those records nearly 3 years ago. Earlier this month, an appeals court ordered Uvalde County and the Uvalde School District to turn over those records. Jesse Russo, whose niece Jackie died in the shooting, praised this decision.
The longer that you hold on to these things that eventually see the light of day, the longer it'll take for the community to come together.
He's also a Uvalde school board member. The county and the school district have not said exactly when those records will be released.
Still ahead on the Night Beat, we're going to stay in Uvalde, which just got a brand new health center, and this one was designed by the people of Uvalde. And we're going to take you there, coming up.
Plus, what used to be a safe space is now making people hesitant to show up. We're going to talk about one of the recent immigration changes in San Antonio after the break.
What I see is a lot of people coming into court, good-hearted, thinking this is going to help them, but instead they have no idea that it is about to destroy their life.
You just heard from Congressman Greg KSAT talking about something that we've seen play out recently at the courthouse downtown, and that's people showing up to their appointments and then being taken away by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents. The congressman said that courthouses used to be off limits so that people could safely argue their cases. He also said that he looks forward to speaking more with Mayor Gino Ortiz-Jones about recent immigration moves being made right here in San Antonio.
We're learning more about abandoned animals. That case we first told you about on Sunday night. Church police have now told KSAT that 64 animals found in what they call distressing conditions at an abandoned home. According to police, the animals, which are mostly cats, found in, quote, need of immediate medical attention, end quote, and appeared to be deprived of basic necessities required for survival. That's what investigators are saying. The Schertz Animal Control Division now has custody of those animals. But the sudden increase in animals now has that shelter asking for donations. You can see the list of items they're asking for on your screen there. They're also accepting monetary donations, money to cover any medical bills for the animals. All donations can be dropped off at the Schertz Animal Services facility.
Now, Uvalde just got a new $16 million health center, and here it is. The Community Health Development Center says that it's aimed at boosting physical, behavioral, and also emotional health support after the school shooting. This 16,000 square foot space offers healthcare services, community support, education, workforce training, and also a place for neighbors to come together.
Take a live look outside right now with live cam, and I keep hearing all day today, Sarah, at least it's a dry heat.
Yeah, that's what we've kind of come to the conclusion about, right? It's going to be hot, but at least it's a dry heat. And that is something to say in the summertime when it is usually pretty humid here. We're going to see the humidity temporarily go away in the afternoons when it's the hottest. It was a hot day today. We got up to 97. And yes, that's hot, but that's average. Average high this time of year is 96, so we weren't too far off from that. Even out near Del Rio is only 96 degrees, and they typically can get up to 100 plus this time of year. 97 in Gonzales, 93 in Kerrville, 95 in New Braunfels. We're going to see temperatures at least a couple of degrees hotter tomorrow from where we were today. So far, we've only had 4 triple-digit days this year. That's it. Most of them happened in May, and there was one last week. We are doing good compared to the last couple of years. By this time in 2024, last year we had 12 100-degree days. In 2023, we went on to have 75 triple-digit days, but by this point we had 33. And in 2022, we had already clocked in 48 triple-digit days. So temperatures much cooler this summer for us. It is still hot, of course, and it will be hot tomorrow, waking up at 74, partly cloudy, mostly sunny and 83 by 10. Around noon, it'll be 87. And in the afternoon, hot, yes, but with low humidity. High temperature of 99, but tomorrow very well could be our 5th triple-digit day if we happen to see 100 degrees. That heat high is causing headaches all across the nation. So I mentioned here in San Antonio, it's not really going to be humid in the next couple of days. That is not the case across a good portion of the nation. Take a look at the heat index values tomorrow and Wednesday. It's going to feel hotter in New York City and Washington, D.C. and in Pittsburgh than it is going to feel in San Antonio tomorrow. That doesn't happen all that often. In parts of Florida today, the heat index was above 120. And in the Corn Belt, Iowa, Nebraska, it's very humid up there. You'll notice they're not really close to a body of water there. The reason it's humid is because of the corn itself. The corn is sweating, creating that humidity out there. So again, it could be a lot worse. We're going to have low humidity to tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. By Friday, though, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be back to that good old San Antonio humidity that we're used to this time of year. And so as we look at temperatures, interestingly, we're going to be hotter technically Wednesday, but it's going to feel hotter over the weekend because the humidity will return, even though we'll technically not be at 100 degrees. So you just can't win. Either way, it's going to be hot in San Antonio. Now let's talk about our rain chance, though. We do see that a low pressure system is going to be weak, but it's going to increase that tropical moisture. That's why humidity returns. At the same time, there's going to be a weak front moving across North Texas. Now this is going to be one of those situations where Friday and Saturday, we're going to watch what develops to the north of us because that is what could work its way down towards San Antonio. Right now, we're going to call it a 30% chance Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for you to see rain in your backyard. And because of the nature of these storms, they could, in some cases, the stronger storms contain potentially up to quarter-sized hail. But that's a really low chance. So we'll keep you posted. Of course, I'll keep you updated on the threats and the chance for rain as we continue on with the week, guys.
I have experienced corn sweats.
Yes, and not from eating too much corn.
No, that's not what you're talking about.
I'm just messing with you,
No. Seriously, it is humid in the Midwest.
Yes,
And people are like, why is it humid there? The corn.
Yeah, well, now I just learned something tonight.
Yeah, there's a kernel of truth there.
Hey,
he had to.
one.
All right. You know what? We don't want to be talking. We don't also want to entertain Steve's sense of humor or dad jokes, but also we don't want to be talking about injuries so early when it comes to the Cowboys.
No, we sure don't. So Tyler Guyton, the Cowboys drafted him last year with the thoughts of him being their future left tackle, sort of like a Hall of Fame, awesome player, right? Well, today he got hurt at camp. We'll tell you the severity of it, and at least it's some positive news. And the Houston Texans, man, they put on the pads today for the first time since starting up training camp. We got it coming up.
Enough for my driver's license. No, thank you guys for the birthday wishes. It's a great, always great for me. I've always worked on my birthday, so it's always been training camp. So that's the normal for me.
Happy birthday to D'Amico Ryans, who's now 41 in big board sports.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Thomas J. Henry.
And this is Dallas Cowboys offensive tackle Tyler Guyton down at training camp today. He was hurt on a pass play during team drills and remained on the ground for some time as he was attended to by the Cowboys medical staff with Micah Parsons and Terrence Steele by his side. Guyton was able to get up and eventually walk off the field under his own power. Parsons helped him walk for several yards. An MRI later revealed that Guyton suffered a bone fracture and is looking at a 4 to 6 week recovery period, but will not require surgery, as reported by ESPN's Todd Archer. Now, that's great news because at first the injury was thought to be much worse. The Cowboys are in the process of figuring out their running back depth chart, who's number 1, 2, etc. Veteran Miles Sanders had himself a solid first week. Now, Sunday the boys put on the pads for the first time, and that's when Coach Shoddy dropped some movie knowledge when talking about what he's looking for in his backs and now that the pads are on.
How they run through contact, how they work in tight spaces. The windows and the running lanes will get smaller today because of the pads and the fact that we're thudding. Like we've been tagging off today. We're going to thud. What's that mean? We're going to strike with our shoulders, do a quick wrap and release. You find out guys that can play with leverage, guys that can lower their shoulders, guys that can keep their balance when they're hit. But the other thing you look for is the guys that do a really good job of when they're pressing a hole, they don't have to hesitate. They trust it, almost like a race car driver. You know, I always think of that Days of Thunder movie where Cole Trickle's coming around the bend, right? And he's like, hey, I don't know if I can do it. And Harry says, hey, you can do it. And he does. And that's a little bit like playing running back, man. You got to trust it. And we want to see that today. Great movie, by the way.
I agree, Coach. I love that movie. Tomorrow's an off day for the players, but the Cowboys coordinators will speak with the media. Let's go to Houston Texans training camp now, where today was the first day in pads for the guys. Always a key day as NFL teams ramp up the physicality. The Texans were able to have a sharp practice in the heat, and it turned out to be competitive. So how does head coach DeMeco Ryans feel the team did in pads today?
With it being the first day of pads, what stood out first and foremost, guys did a really great job of just staying up off the ground. I want guys to still be able to protect each other. We're still teammates. Understand we want to play physical football, but we got to protect each other. And I thought our guys came out, did a really good job of that. And you can see our running backs really running the football, how it will look, playing physical behind their pass. I thought those guys, Chubb did a really good job today with a couple runs, also Jawar. So, and our defense as well, they stepped up, played physical, nice. A couple nice thuds, nice tackles in there, so I'm excited. First day of pads, everybody was safe. So I'm happy to get out clean today.
That is always key. The Texans will practice again tomorrow and Wednesday before the players take off Thursday. It was a special night for NISD athletics after the break.
First of all, you have to use the word humility, and just so honored to be a part of it, because I've seen our teachers and our coaches, our athletes just do so many wonderful things, and I'm just so honored to be able to be here and reflect on that, and again, just very humbling.
The court at Northside Sports Gym was packed to honor Stan Lang and the rest of the inaugural class of 2025 inductees into the Northside ISD Athletics Hall of Honor, an important award that honors great athletes, leaders, and people who have made a big difference in the Northside community.
I'm honored, let's say that, the inaugural year of this induction, a great opportunity to be able to honor all of the athletes that have come before me and after me as well. So I'm pretty excited about being here. My family's here as well, so we're going to have a good time tonight.
Yeah, it means a lot to be a part of this. This is an inaugural event, and they've never had this before. To be chosen to represent Holmes High School and the sport of track and field, it means a lot to me. There are quite a few athletes that they could have chose to kick off this event, and they chose me to represent, like I said, the sport and the school, and for those people that helped and had a hand in my career, I represent them as well being here, so it means a lot to me.
You can find the complete list of honorees on the sports page at KSAT.com.
It's good to see Priest Holmes out there.
It is good. Yeah, great to see all those former stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations to them.
Yep.